What is up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. I'm Johnny Blacklight, and today we're talking about The Ugly Stepsister, a twisted retelling of the classic Cinderella story told in a hella dark way and through the lens of the ugly stepsister, Elvira. Super gruesome stuff, man. Definitely ends up going there in the gore department. Super nasty, super uncomfortable body horror elements and nasty gore bloody stuff. It gets going fairly quick with the uncomfortable moments, ramping it up with a good pace as it goes on. It just kind of keeps getting more and more twisted and demented. But like I said, we do get some of that towards the beginning of the film with the nose readjustment scene that's in the trailer being fairly early in the film. And things, like I said, kind of escalate from there with a pretty good pace. Shifts into a very interesting body horror flick for sure. Just the combination of a period piece, grim fairy tale, and body horror elements is super crazy to me, and nothing I've ever really seen before personally, so definitely worked for me on a lot of different levels. I'm a fan of these kind of super demented movies, but I have to be in the right kind of mood. I can't just throw these things on. They don't have the same kind of rewatchability, so to speak. I would say this film does have rewatchability, but like I said, I wouldn't be able to just pop it on at any moment, especially not with a big meal. Definitely not a food-friendly film. But speaking of the gore, it's pretty top-notch here as far as the practical effects go. But like I said, definitely some gross-out stuff here, man. That's definitely not for the faint of heart. So if you're not into the gore stuff, nasty stuff, body parts getting chopped off, stuff like that, definitely skip this one. But if you are into that kind of stuff, this one's for you. But yeah, man, I was definitely cringing myself personally at a few of the big gore moments with this one. And I've seen a bunch of gore stuff. So, you know, gore horror movies isn't like a new thing for me. But yeah, there's some moments here. Nasty, wet, just gross out body horror by the end of this thing, man. You got tapeworms, you get a rotting body, maggots, the whole 9 yards, man. It's super nasty. Very uncomfortable. Really gets under the skin. Everything really does translate well into this kind of story, though, like I mentioned before, and just like the amalgamation of so many different types of things. And it works with the bleakness that this one's got. Just all kind of tied together in a nice black bow. Pretty well paced overall. Didn't really drag for me much at all. And it is much more of a psychological slow burn that kind of morphs into a body horror jam as it goes. Shades of The Substance, taking on like ridiculous beauty standards with its social commentary stuff, really worked for me. I feel like they nailed it. That intertwining seamlessly with the Cinderella story, especially from the aspect of the ugly stepsister. There's also a dark comedy aspect here that works well in a very bleak and twisted way. Like, I wouldn't say this is like on the nose horror comedy, but it's definitely there in its own way. We'll just put it that way. Man, the set design here is magnificent. Really builds a thick, old school period piece type of atmosphere. I love that kind of thing. I'm a big period piece fan, so this worked for me for sure. Also an atmosphere junkie, so any kind of good, thick, nice atmosphere really works, and this one really does work. The costume design really amps that up as well, with some really great stuff that pairs so good with the set design. Tons of detail, really pulls you into that time period. At least it did for me. I also really dug the score. Very dreamlike, also whimsical, matches the grim fairy tale vibes, but also has like a very haunting, long synth way about it that's kind of hard to put my finger on, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Also, the performances are great all around, and our lead really drives this film with a lot of like solid facial acting. Her reactions and emotion conveying the character's pain, mental break, relentless drive to be picked by the prince, and so on. So yeah, man, I thought this was a super solid period piece and a super solid take on the grim fairy tale. And a really cool way to twist it up and turn it into something very bleak and nasty. So yeah, if you're into that kind of thing, if this is the type of movie you've been looking for, I feel like this might be it. And if you've seen The Ugly Stepsister, let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Did you enjoy it? Were you grossed out by it? Favorite scene? Least favorite scene? Let me know what you think. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for the video. Subscribe for more. You'll have a good one, and I'll see you next time.